origins of emotional dysfunction. Hello again, welcome back to my channel, The World of Make-Believe. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you are doing well and you are involved in activities that will better your life. The topic of this video, the origins of emotional dysfunction, is a continuation of my previous video's topic, where it all went wrong. In that video, I briefly mentioned journaling the abuse you experienced, with the purpose of identifying patterns of abusive behavior and moments when your narcissists did or said something to raise an alarm. So, in this video, I will share with you what I've come to realize about my mentally abusive grandmother, the causative factors of her mental dysfunction and how her children inherited the curse wrought by her mental sickness. The content delivered in this video will be long-winded remarks. Please bear with me as I try to be as articulate as possible with my message. When reflecting on my grandmother, the earliest memories I recall of her are twofold: a tiny thin petite woman, who would sacrifice her very existence, to give you everything that fancied your eye, and a quick-tempered bomb, walking on two legs, that goes, tick, boom, in the space of 2 seconds. The people she worked with only knew her as the kind little lady. However, our family members, store cashiers, and store clerks knew her as the evil woman, who would curse you out at the drop of a dime. As a child, before I aware of mental illness, seeing my grandmother rip a store clerk a new asshole was sheer amusement. But even when I was ignorant to mental health topics, I knew that something was off with my grandmother, upstairs in her head. As an inquisitive child, I asked my grandmother about her parents on numerous occasions. From her responses I remember her saying that her biological father had died, then her mother remarried to an immigrant man from Russia, who she referred to as Dictator Stalin. It is this man, from Russia, who I believe is the beginning, the origin of my grandmother's mental illness and emotional dysfunction. If I ever pressed the conversation more or asked further probing questions into who he was, immediately she remarked that his presence, that of her stepfather, was that of an authoritative dictator, who controlled everything, and demanded everything be his way, and if it wasn't, there would have been hell to pay. Occasionally, she would remark that if a dish was dropped and hit the floor, Dictator Stalin would explode. If noises were too loud, Dictator Stalin would explode. If things were not organized or out of place according to Dictator Stalin, he would explode. And, according to my grandmother, his abusive verbal barrages never ceased, but lasted several days. Because of the immense terror and mental anguish caused by Dictator Stalin, my grandmother and her mother trotted carefully, walking on eggshells, in an attempt to not upset or piss him off. Fast forward to our generation. Inside of our household, my grandmother would cower with sheer panic and terror if a dish had ever fell to the floor, or a liquid had accidentally spilled on a table or countertop, as if there was some imminent threat, or the world would soon be ending. While watching television or listening to music, the volume levels were adjusted so low that it was highly unlikely that she or anyone else could hear anything at all. And, if you dared to increase the volume level, she would get pissed off and yell at you, taking into consideration that my grandmother's stepfather subjugated my grandmother and her then family to decades of psychological trauma. I'm led to believe that my grandmother is a lifelong sufferer of complex post-traumatic stress disorder, coupled with arrested emotional development, an emotionally unregulated, extremely nervous, anxiety-ridden, sickly and depressed woman is the only way I know to describe my grandmother's emotional state for as long as I can remember. Concerning us, my mother's 5 children, the 5 children of the emotionally dysfunctional grandmother in this video, our grandmother loved some of us unconditionally, and hated the guts of the others. For those who she loved, we couldn't do any wrong whatsoever in her eyes. For those she hated, you were better off dead than out of sight. If you were a fortunate child she loved, she would shower you with affection and gifts. If you were an unlucky hated child, you were targeted, attacked emotionally, alienated from the cherished group, or were grabbed by your hair, pinned against a wall, and repeatedly slapped in the face. Now that I'm a successful teacher, who is an adult survivor of an emotionally abusive household, I often feel guilty because I was able to escape that toxicity and create a life I want for myself, while my other brothers and sisters are left behind. But still, the sight of seeing my sister being grabbed by her hair, pinned against a wall, and repeatedly slapped in the face haunts me. Perhaps, the most disheartening, saddening truth underlying this story is that parents chose to remain in abusive relationships and, consequently, their children's lives were negatively impacted. All children come into this world deserving of love and to be cared for. Furthermore, all people are deserving of respect and to be treated well. Though I cannot turn back time or change anything that happened in the past, with me or anyone else, I can be deliberate and choose to make a conscious decision to refuse anyone or any situation that is harmful to my mental or physical health. Most importantly, as a parent, God blessed me with the honorable role of provider and protector to my children. In my honest opinion, protecting a child's mental health is just as important, if not more important, than providing food and shelter. I'll end by saying this: dear parents, we are charged with the responsibility of building our children up into becoming successful, healthy functioning adults in a society. If you're a parent who's cognizant of how your childhood has had an impact on your present life, please take a step back, look at things carefully, and identify what are the negative patterns of behaviors that should be eliminated in the lives of the upcoming generations. If you made it to the end of this video, you're the best. Thank you. Stay on the lookout for my upcoming videos, where I expand further on this topic of negative patterns of dysfunctional behaviors, and the roles family members are assigned in a dysfunctional household. Bye for now. Until next time, take care.
Like, subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more videos. Bye for now. Take care.